Good afternoon, Nativity families. I thought I'd do the update before our Thanksgiving break and our COVID break via video. This update is as of Friday afternoon, 1:45 on the 20th of November. So here's what we know so far. As most of you know, we applied for a limited service application. One of our parents, who's a physician, has been gracious enough to be our medical director in order for us to do that. That application was sent overnight over a week ago. We have not received an update, although we did follow up on our mailing, and we know that it was received, and we know, quite frankly, who accepted it in Albany on that. I have emailed and called. I have not received an update of where that is. We have, however, gotten approval from the test distribution site that has said they received our application and are willing to send tests as soon as we get the CLIA number, that's the CLIA number, from the limited service lab. So that's where we're at. We're hoping within days we will see that. I have had an opportunity to see what the Binex Now short swab test looks like. It's pretty benign, and I will be getting a test myself as soon as we get ours. This one happened to be from Clarence, and we'll talk more about that if and when that time comes. The testing requirements, as you know or may not know, is quite a bit different between the yellow and the orange zone, which we're in right now. The yellow zone is testing 20% of our population over a week's period of time, which for us ranges between 36 or 36 and 38 students, faculty, staff, all combined. That's very doable. Unfortunately, in the orange zone, if we are going to continue instruction, we would have to test 100% of the students before they enter school, and 100% of faculty and staff before we begin instruction, and we'd have to begin that instruction within 7 days. After that, we would then test 25% weekly from that point out. So that part's doable. The 100%, a little tough. We haven't ruled it out, but until we get the licensure for the limited service lab application and know that we have the test on site, we'll talk a little bit more about that. We are still projecting that we will be out of school next week, which is Thanksgiving week. We'd be missing 2 days of instruction, and the following week. It is during that week of November 30th through December 4th that we hope we'll have the test. We can get the protocols. The permission slips, which I've said before, would include your permission to test, and make available that parents would be present when that testing goes on. So we'll talk more about testing if and when that becomes a reality for us. It certainly would be helpful if we move back into a yellow zone, as the testing would be far more manageable and less universal. At this point, we are going into remote instruction. There have been 4 times the amount of requests for Chromebooks than when we last shut down last spring, and it's been 4 times higher. So unfortunately, we can't give all the Chromebooks. We can give Chromebooks to everybody who needs one, but we can't give multiple Chromebooks to families wishing they have more than one Chromebook sent to them. We did apply for more Chromebooks through the CARES Act, which was specifically designed to help schools with the additional cost of trying to educate during the COVID, but as bureaucracies are the way they are, that was done during the summer. We have not yet received any Chromebooks, and quite frankly, not sure what the status of that is at this point. A word about remote instruction. We have arranged that whatever instruction goes on, it's always best if your child can view the lesson, the class, in live streaming but we know that that's not always possible for a variety of reasons. One, your child may not be available at the time the teachers are doing it, or there could be a conflict if you have multiple children in the school, and there's conflicts at times. We've tried to do our best to separate those as much as we can, but we're obviously not going to be able to eliminate that entirely. The other problems may be that there are not enough devices in the house that everyone can live stream at the same time, or enough places to go in order to make sure that that happens while being properly supervised. It also could be that children may be off to, a relative's house to be supervised during the day and won't be able to do this in the evening. So we have arranged that our lessons are taped and are on the Google Classroom account that hopefully you have established for each one of your children, and they can see it at that time. I think one other advice that I might give is if your child is struggling in any particular area, you might want to try to make arrangements that they could see that live so they can ask questions, that sort of thing. So please stay in contact with the teacher and don't let your child slip behind in this. I have asked our teachers to be cognizant of the different environments kids are in during the day. It's not a controlled environment like the classroom is on a day-to-day basis. So I urge you to stay in contact with the teachers, and I'm sure we can accommodate all the needs that people have. Also, as you know, that lunches and breakfasts for everybody have been free throughout this period and will be through the Christmas holiday. There's word that it will probably continue, but I haven't gotten that officially. However, during the remote shutdown, if you will, free breakfast and lunch is available for all your school-age children or preschool children, and that is through your home district. So if your children go here, but you live in Lancaster, you would go to Lancaster. If you're Winslow, go there. If you live in the Clarence, obviously you would go to the Clarence School District. So that's kind of what we know now at this point. I do want to take a moment to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. We have much to be grateful for, and I am grateful to each one of you and your support and hanging in there with us. I will make this remote learning absolutely as sure as possible, and I'm willing to go to any heroic efforts we can do. If you're inclined, certainly feel free to contact your state senators, the governor's office. There's been a lot of things on the news about how the science is telling us schools aren't the problem. And the fact that we have not had one confirmed positive case of any student, faculty, or staff member here is certainly a testament to that. And our belief is that, as many of the medical experts have said, school is the safest place for your children to be, not only from COVID, but in other areas as well. So I'm not trying to politicize too much, but we all have a voice, and you all know where I stand in this. That school, in-person instruction, unless obviously there's individual specific concerns, is really the place for most of our students. So take care, be thankful, know that we are doing everything. We may be remote, but we will continue to be working here in the office to try and do the best we can to get back into in-person construction or in-person instruction. Thank you again. Have a great Thanksgiving.